Okay, here we go, guys. 18.3, volume of cubes, or not cubes, cones. I am running on super little sleep. I'm exhausted. I'm going to go pass out as soon as I'm done with these. Um, okay, cones. Cones are very, very easy. They have the exact same formula, technically, as pyramids. The formula for finding the volume of a cone is, where is it? Where is it? Look at that. Volume is equal to 1/3 area of the base times the height. Cool, right? Just like the pyramids. The only difference is the area of the base for this is always pi r squared. You don't have to worry about any weird shapes like you did sometimes on the pyramid one. Like example, there was the problem in the pyramid one where it asks you to find the volume of a pentagonal pyramid. It's a pentagon at the base. And I don't know if I said this in the last video, but do not try to use the formula for that. Just Google it. Google how to find the area of a regular pentagon, and use that number. I walked through it on one of my videos that I posted in the classroom from one of my Zoom sessions. But anyways, I digress. Volume of a cone. Okay, so again, really easy. This is going to be a short video because this is a pretty easy section. Okay, so if I want to find the volume of a cone, let's look at this. So, say we've got this conical paper cup. So with these, a lot of the times the problem is not necessarily that the math itself is hard, like the formula. Usually what they do is they try to mess with you by not giving you the radius. They give you something else. So like in this one, they don't give you the radius, they give you the diameter. So you have to figure out what the radius is. You guys can figure that out. I have 100% faith in you that you can figure out how to get the radius from this diameter. That's right. The radius is just half of this, so it's just 1.1. Look, they did it right here, but use lots of words to say that. Okay. Oh, okay. So on this one, they don't give you the height either. Okay? They make it into a right triangle, and so you have 1.1, 1.8. And so to find the height, you have to use Pythagorean theorem. So you say 1.1 squared plus the height squared equals 1.8. So boom, boom, boom. Solve that, and you end up getting the height is about 1.42. Cool. So let's go into the volume section of it. So here we go. So all I'm doing is plugging everything in. So I'm going to say 1/3 pi. So we know that the radius is 1.1. So this is going to be 1.1 squared times the height, which we have is 2.03. 2.03. Okay, so let's pull out our handy dandy calculator. Turn off my book. Okay. All right, so we got 1.1 squared equals, all right, so there's my 1.1 squared, times 2.03 equals, cool, 2.46, that number. Now I'm going to multiply it by pi equals, so now I've done pi r squared. So, okay, we're at the pi r squared place, but since it's a cone, pi r squared times the height. So we did pi r squared times the height. Since it's a cone and not a cylinder, we now have to divide it by 3. So I'm just going to divide by 3 and equals, boom, there's our answer. So the answer to this problem is going to be 2.57. Again, it's pretty easy. It's just a lot of calculations. Okay, so let's see, that was 2.57, and you're done. That is this section. It is really easy. So I'm going to try something a little different this time. I am actually going to grab the gray sheets and the white sheets and do a couple of the problems that I've done on Tuesday in our office hours. And I'll go through a couple of those for you real quick, just because I've seen a lot of people doing them. Let me flip through this real fast, see if there's anything similar in here that I can do. No, I don't see anything. Okay, so I'll be right back. I'm going to turn this off and make a new video. Adios. All right, let's try this. So again, this is a really easy section. I'm going to do just a couple of these, walk you through them. So for these types of problems, again, it's pi r squared. You're going to find the area of the base. So 24 times, 24 squared pi. So what's 24? What is 24 squared? Adjust brightness. 24 times 24. 576. Cool. So I'm going to say 576 pi. So that's the area of the base. And I want to multiply it by the height, which is 18. And I'm going to divide it by 3. Okay, so here's again where I talked about before. Remember, you can do a little bit of selective division and multiplication. I know that this is divisible by 3. So I'm going to say 6. And now my answer is just whatever 576 pi times 6 is. It's still a much bigger number than I want to deal with. Just imagine if I made you write out the number pi instead of use pi. 3, 4, 5, 6. Hey, look at that. It's all sequential like. 3, 4, 5, 6 pi. Done. That's number 2. That's all you gotta do. That's the same way you would do 1 and 3. It's really easy. Okay, now let me move down. Come on. There we go. Let's turn on the light, see if that helps at all. It's kind of dark over here. There we go. Okay, so this is a composite figure. So again, remember, composite figures are not nearly as bad as they seem. Okay, so first thing, and they even break it up for you. They say, well, you want to know the volume of A. That's the cylinder. So they're telling you right here, this 8, that's the radius. So to figure out the volume of this cylinder, area of the base, so pi r squared, times the height. So that's going to be 8 squared, which is 64 pi, times 4, 256 pi. Look at that. 256 pi. Done. Okay, and then we want to figure out the area, or sorry, I keep saying area. I'm, again, exhausted. So volume of this cone at the top. So this cone has the same base as the cylinder at the bottom. Okay, so we can use that same 64 pi that we used before, but instead of multiplying it by 4, I'm going to multiply it by 16, which is hideous, and then divide it by 3. Okay, so 64 pi times 16 divided by 3. 64 times 16 divided by 3. 341.33333 pi. 341.33 pi. Okay? You can figure out the rest. Like, really, it's add these two up. That gets you this. The composite figure consists of, what shape is that? Cylinder. And a cone. That's it. Okay? That is your 18.3 reteach. All right, so let's look at this section. There's 2 questions that have come up that are, well, so the first one that has come up several times is problem number 5. Okay? This is one of those problems where at the beginning I told you, in order to make these a little more difficult, they do things by, like, not give you the numbers you need exactly, but you still have everything you need. Okay, so we have a cone with a base circumference of 6 pi. So the whole trick with this one is you have to take that circumference and get the radius out of it. So we know that the formula for circumference is equal to 2 pi times the radius. Okay, so that means if 6 pi is equal to 2 pi times the radius, you can just solve for r. So divide this side by 2 pi, divide this side by 2 pi, and you get r is equal to 3. So you got my radius is 3. Cool. So radius equals 3. And it tells us our height is half of that. Okay, well, half of 3 is my height, which means our height is 1.5. And now you have everything you need to solve this problem. Okay, so again, sometimes they will give you things like the circumference, or maybe they'll give you the volume and they'll ask you for something. It doesn't matter. Really, they'll give you what you need, and you're just going to have to plug into the equation and kind of solve for stuff. So now I'm just going to talk through it. I'm not going to solve it. To figure out the volume of this cone, I would say pi r squared, so 3 squared, which is 9, right? So I'm going to say 9 pi times 1.5. So, but before I do that, I remember I divide by 3. So I can divide 9 by 3 to get 3. So what's 3 pi times 1.5? You can just think of 3 times 15. 3 times 15 is 45. So my answer would be 4.5 pi. All right, on to the next tricky one. This guy doesn't even have a cone. Why is he telling us a problem with no cone in it? Rude. All right, so the cylinder is easy. We have a height on the cylinder of 8. We have a radius of 2.5. So to get that, that's pretty easy. It's going to be 2.5 squared pi times 8. This is going to be my, ooh, that's an ugly cylinder, but whatever. Looks like a top hat. So that's the formula for volume of my cylinder. All right, so the tricky part is the pyramid, okay? So figuring out the area, the formula for a pyramid is easy. It's just area of the base times the height, okay? We've got the height. The height is 8. Done. The issue is they don't give us the radius, or sorry, any of the sides of that square, okay? Or rectangle. I don't know. Which one is it? Doesn't matter. Well, whatever. They don't give you any specifics, so we're going to make an assumption that makes it easier for all of us. So if this shape down here is my base, so unfortunately this is not 5, this is not 5, the 5 is in the diagonal. Okay? So now I'm going to turn that into a right triangle. And again, we know nothing about this shape. It does not say it's a square. It does not say it's a rectangle. There's really no nice way for us to know which one it could possibly be, so I say we choose whichever one makes this problem easier. And that would be for this to be a rectangle, not a square, because then if this is 5, that means I know a real nice Pythagorean triple that always gives you 5 as the hypotenuse, and that would be 3, 4, and 5, right? 3 squared plus 4 squared equals 5 squared. That's our 3, 4, 5 triangle. Remember I said use it, love it, learn it? But anyways, there's our 3, 4, 5, and so now I can figure this out pretty easily. I say 3 times 4, so the base is going to be 12. And then I'm going to multiply it by the height, which is 8. So I'm going to say 8 times 12 divided by 3, right? But before I do that, I'm going to divide this base by 3. So here, let's write the whole formula out so you can kind of see it. So for the formula for my pyramid would be 3 times 4 times 8 times 1/3. Right, that's going to give me my volume. So we have the area of the base times the height divided by 3. To make my life a little easier, you can cancel that and that, and you end up with 4 times 8. Boom. So this is just 32. And so to find the volume of this composite figure, I'm going to say whatever this is minus 32. And yes, this number is a whole heck of a lot bigger than that number. That's okay. There's a lot more space in this figure from the cylinder than there is the pyramid. So don't be alarmed if you get like, I think this is like 160 or something ridiculous like that. But yeah, so that's it. That is 18.3. Again, like I said, a really easy section. I did a couple of the really hard problems. Yeah, that's it. Hope that works. Adios, guys.